Hello everyone. Today I will be discussing about body and concluding paragraphs for the essay writing in general. So I will discuss two parts. The first one is the developmental or the body paragraph, and the second one is the concluding paragraph. The developmental or body paragraph. So this is basically the general structure of an essay, including the introductions paragraph, followed by a developmental body paragraph, which can be either one or two or three or more, depending on how many main points do you bring in your essay. The last part is the concluding paragraph. We will focus on the second part, the body paragraph and the conclusions. We will discuss the structure and things to note, as well as the examples of each of them. The body paragraph. Each developmental paragraph discusses only one aspect of the main topics. So for each paragraph, you will need to discuss one main point only. So if you bring three arguments or three proofs or two or more for evidence, so it depends on how many proofs you bring or evidence or main points you bring, and you will need to arrange your paragraph depending on how many main points you bring in your paragraph. Its developmental paragraph should have topic sentence containing of a topic and a controlling ideas. So a topic sentence is the main sentence which will outline what you are going to discuss in certain paragraph. The controlling idea in the developmental paragraph should echo the central idea in the thesis statement. So the controlling idea here should be in the parallel, should be in line with the central ideas mentioned in the thesis statement of the essay. So it will show that your paragraph supports a same topics. The last one is the developmental paragraph or the body paragraph should have coherence and unity. They should connect to each other paragraph, and each sentence should connect to one into one. And each sentence in that paragraph should also talk only one topic discussed in the topic sentence. The basic part of a body paragraph. There are some versions of body paragraph parts, so do not get confused. There are some types, but in general, they have a very little differences, although there are many general similar structures. So version one is PIE, point illustration explanations, which you can abbreviate into PI, consisting of P for point. This is a topic sentence of your paragraph, followed by illustrations. With the illustrations, it is evidences to support and to fill your paragraph, which can be a personal experience, expert opinion, examples, analogy, facts and statistics, reasoning process, or even emotions. Your illustrations should support and help to develop your main points. In a sense, the illustrations helps you to prove that claim or argument which you propose as your main points is valid and legitimate. So think about these following questions when deciding whether certain illustrations can support or not. What kind of specific data, what kind of specific experience, opinion, examples, or factual materials can support the topic sentence you propose. The last part is explanations. This is the analysis, the comparisons, elaborations, or evaluations of the topic sentence and supporting evidence. This is your analysis, showing whether the supporting evidence support the thesis and the topics of the topic sentence you proposed before. This is a very important part of the paragraph because this is where you can develop and make sense of your data which you propose to support, to show that the evidence really link strongly to the topic sentence. So think about these questions. What does the provided information mean, and why does it matter? So what with this one? Is there any relations with the topic sentence? This is, for example, like the body structure of the body paragraph, topic sentence. You can put transition in it and then give illustrations using examples, and then you provide explanations of that details. You try to connect the details, the evidence into the topic sentence. Then you can provide another transitions. For example, you can put second illustrations here and explain it again. You put another transitions under and then provide the third illustrations and then explain it. Then finally, you put closing sentence. There is no minimum or maximum number of how many illustrations needed in each paragraph. It really depends on how strong the illustrations you choose and how many space do you have in there. If you have a very explanations, you might need to add extra evidences. Or if you feel like the combinations of the explanations and illustrations which you try to explain is already enough, then you can stop in that point. The second versions, for example, the basic parts of a body paragraph consist of topic sentence, followed by evidence cycle. The evidence consists of assertions or your proposal, evidence, and then commentary. So this is what you usually do. It's quite similar to the previous one. Assertions is your point, the evidence is examples, and commentary is the analysis. But in this case, this have a very rigid structure difference compared to the previous one. In that the topic sentence may be different to the assertion or the point. So we call it subpoints here. This second version has topic sentence followed by evidence cycle, followed by concluding statement, and followed by transitions. The transitions here is slightly different to the previous transitions because the previous transitions is sentence in between sentence transitions, while the transitions here is paragraph transitions. So you can put the transition at the end of the first paragraph, or you can put it in the beginning of the following paragraph. Another note is that the transitions and topic sentence doesn't have to be separate sentence. You can combine your topic sentence and concluding statements into one. And then you can also put, you can combine either topic sentence or concluding statements with the transitions between paragraph. Examples of body paragraph. So look at these examples about Hamlet writing soliloquy. So you see here, the first sentence is the topic sentence. Hamlet begins his famed soliloquy with a powerful declaration about what his dilemma is, whereas Macbeth takes his time to get to his point. The evidence here is shown in the first evidence. We see Hamlet asking himself if he should continue to be or to live or not to be. And the second evidence, in order to express his frustrations about how life seems to just drag on. The green one is the explanations of the evidence proposed by the writer. And the last one is the analysis with the orange one. While Macbeth's sentiments is interesting to the audience, it lacks the drama and emotional relevance of life or death situations. So this is the author's comments or the analysis of what he or she wrote in his or her essay. Second example, The topic of the essay is that it is important to ask for feedback on your paper because other people can help you clarify ideas and encourage you about the strength of your writing. So you start your body paragraph with a topic sentence about the reasons to get feedback on your writing. And then you put illustrations using example, the personal experience example. And the second, the writer also add another illustrations using expert opinion. The red one, feedback for clarity is so important that Smith. So he or she use quotations here and the combinations of direct and indirect um, quotations. And then he or she provide a closing sentence. The importance of getting feedback can't be overstated. This is another example which we see in our previous meeting in the handout regarding the paragraph describing the facilities of Universitas Negeri Malang. You see here with its motto, the Learning University, Universitas Negeri Malang or UM has been known as a campus that put the learning system and activities in the top place. So this is the topic sentence. To support the students' learning, UM provides blah, blah, blah. This is the assertions or the claim made by the author. There is a huge hall name, blah, 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 blah. This is the evidence. And followed by this evidence is another evidence regarding other facilities such as swimming pool, mosque, and so on. And then at the end, the writer provide a conclusions. These facilities make famous and make students want to study there. This is another examples more complicated regarding TikTok work provided and made by Inchi. Next is concluding paragraph. A concluding paragraph can restate the points discussed in the body paragraph or developmental paragraph. A concluding paragraph can restate the thesis in different words. The thesis here at the thesis is the thesis statement of the essay. A concluding paragraph should not introduce a new topic. And last one, a concluding paragraph should have a personal comments or suggestion. So this is the structure. First, you need to restate the thesis statement in different words. Do not just copy and paste the thesis statement from your introductory paragraph. Then you can make reference to your hook if you think like that's possible, or if not, you can just skip to summarizing the main points you mentioned before, the main points in the body paragraph into one sentence only. That's all. Those are the main task of a concluding paragraph, restating the thesis statement and summarizing the main points. You can also use those structure with other combinations of strategy. For example, you can make it from general to very specific, from specific to general, or you can give a warning or state the consequence of failing to act. You can give disclaimer of what to do and what's not to do. You can give advice or offer possible solution. You can tell the reader what he or she should now think, do, or feel. You can tell what you really think of the topic. You can direct the discussions into this is actually the main topic and so on. And lastly, you can tell what lessons or truth should now be understood by the reader. Examples of concluding paragraph. This is examples of model 1 essay paragraph. Here you can see that it has 4 sentences here. The first sentence is the restatement of the thesis, which focus, organize, and clarity are the key elements of a successful essay. The phrase clearly then imply that having read the case for focus, organizations, and clarity being identified as the key elements, the reader would certainly agree with the thesis statement. On the second part, the writer acknowledged the importance of essay's content, but he or she accepts that sound content isn't enough for success. And in the third sentence, he or she sums up the points made in the middle three paragraph using three key elements of focus, organizations, and clarity, and so on, which includes developing strong thesis statement, planning the structure of their essay, and writing clearly and concisely. In the last paragraph, in the last sentence, the writer restates the generalizations the essay started with. So it is started from the specific to the general one. He or she mentions that the students find essay writing difficult, but then ends on a high note with the predictions. What will the writer um, will contribute to the reader if they follow these suggestions, his or her suggestions. Next, the model essay 2 concluding paragraph examples. Here, there are 4 sentences to close the paragraph. The first paragraph, the first sentence restate the thesis statement that the essay continue to be a valuable learning and assessment medium. And then the writer summarized the main points of the body paragraph in second and third sentences. It encouraged students to undertake deep rather than surface learning, and then also develop the transferable skills graduates needs in the professional workplace. And most importantly, it represents students with an intellectual challenge that can be met only by developing sophisticated ways of thinking and communicating. The last sentence pick up the reference to the age of the essay genre with which the essay begins, but then affirm the essay's continuing relevance. So this is how these two examples for concluding sentence. There are many other examples like this one. Uh, this examples talks about the soundtrack, which is a good representations of who I am right now. This is talking about the music as a part of the writer's life. And there are more examples of concluding paragraph from your handout. A conclusion is the opposites of an introduction. So the difference between both of them is that when introductions begin with general and ends with the specific, the conclusions generally need to start from the specific and then move to the general. Conversely, if you do with something specific and then general, although it's quite less common in essay, especially academic essay, your conclusion should use the opposite structure. That's all. Thank you so much. Do you have any question? Let me know.